So, right, we're back again playing with the Siphon nozzle, and I have learned lots of things since I started this. So the first thing is that I don't really need any, so that's the little fan motor I had before at the back, and that's the blower motor I tried using. All of them provided too much air and actually blew the flame out. I mean, it's probably be okay if that was in something. Say if you were trying to run a furnace or something like that, you could probably use the blower to keep the flame, because it'd be contained. It probably would work, but for what what I'm going to do is have that in an open container, being, you know, a heater for the shop. Another thing I learned, the electrical contacts on the back of the igniter, those bits there. Yeah, see if you touch them when they're running, yeah, you get electrocuted and it's really sore. And yeah, don't do that. Don't touch the, I mean, I didn't die because they're limited to, was it 15 milliamps or something, but it's still like 20,000 volts, and it certainly gives your hand a good shock and tingles for a while. And in the previous video, a viewer wondered whether the fridge compressor would have enough air and pressure to running on waste oil. It's actually got too much pressure, and I learned that by accident. So when I had that inside the tube thing, the orange broken now tube that's over there, I had crimped the end of the air supply line, and it ran really well. And it wasn't until I took it out I noticed that it was actually crimped, because I undid it and then it just blows the flame straight out. It's far too powerful. So I now have a pair of vice grips attached to the outlet hose, but it does mean I probably won't be able to use the fridge compressor, because running it with a restricted thing probably isn't good for the compressor. So I'm probably going to have to look into getting another an actual tanked compressor, a silent running or silent-er tanked compressor. Yes, I know, and everybody's going to say, why don't you just turn that one into, you know, build your own compressor? Well, first of all, I don't have a spare air receiver tank to turn into a compressor. And from watching AV videos, yeah, pressure vessels and explosions and danger and death, you know, I'm not totally a safety geek nerd, but I'd like to not die in a air compressor explosion. So we'll probably just buy something, something small. We don't need a lot of air to run this. We just need less pressure than what this puts out. Right, I might as well fire it up. So at the moment, you know, hold on, you can see in the background there, we've got our waste oil container. This just happens to be dark waste oil that I'm using. That's the vegetable oil container. There is some in the pipe just now, and I will fire it up for you. Try not to get electrocuted. Oh, incidentally, I thought I could maybe use one of the, like a fan speed controller on the compressor to see if it would slow it down, but it doesn't even start with that plugged in. I'm presuming it's something to do with the big start capacitor. So at the moment I've got the ignition coil on a separate plug. So ignition. No, it does help if you turn the power on. Congratulations, power restored. Right, ignition. And go. That's ran out of the little bit of oil that was in the pipe. It's not plumbed into anything at the moment. Right, so as we saw there, that runs. It burns hot, and it burns smokeless. You just need to ignore the bit of burning sludge that's in there. That's just where I've been running it to play with it, and it's just spilled some oil into the tube itself. You will get a little bit as well, especially in this setup. When I turn it off, the compressor doesn't stop like straight away. There's still obviously compressed air in the line, and that keeps the siphon running a little bit, which pours a bit of oil into your tube. That could probably be fixed with using a solenoid on the air line, and then just have it snap shut, and that's it. It stops air and fuel altogether. But I should note that is unheated waste oil. It's just as thick as, it's not that thick. It's definitely not like thick waste oil. You probably have to warm it up a bit to get it fairly less viscous, but we're not talking water thin here. We're still talking oil thick, and it burns it, and it burns it with no smoke. And my little pipe here is just the nozzle, the waste oil, the siphon nozzle, and I just welded a couple of nuts onto the outside of the tube, and then used the bolts to hold the siphon nozzle in the middle of it. Yeah, and obviously you just need a bit of tube to kind of contain the flame enough. You can, with this, once it's been running for a few minutes, you can disconnect the electronic igniter, and the heat of the tube here will keep the flame lit, and it'll keep running. But we're going to have to do something other than the fridge compressor, because it works, but it provides too much pressure. If I was to take the vice grips off my pipe, it would run for, I think, like the few seconds of it just building pressure, and then it just blows the flame right out of the tube. Well, that's where I'm at, and it works. So basically I just need to get a compressor that can adjust some sort of pressure regulating valve, and then I can build all of that into my heater. Granted, I'll have to stand vertically, but that shouldn't be a problem. And then I can use that to heat the workshop on waste oil. Nice, okay, marvellous. So, any comments, questions, anything like that, leave them down below. I will try my very best to answer them, and as always, thanks for watching. Oh, as a supplementary note, this isn't the only waste oil burner we're going to build. This is just the one I'm going to build just now, that I can have to heat the workshop up when it's cold, and then we'll progress to using the Chinese diesel heater to build some sort of waste oil burning device as well. Anyway, as I said, thanks for watching.